Hello and welcome to the Powerful Personal Brand Podcast, where we help and inspire you to build a great personal brand to build your visibility and authority. I am your host, Claire Vaughn, and on today's episode, I am so excited to be joined by Michelle, Razavi, and Nikki Elliot. Michelle and Nikki are the founders of Elavi, a modern wellness company reinventing nutrition and reinventing nutrition for energy and longevity. As certified fitness trainers with backgrounds in integrative wellness and performance sports, their approach to food is both functional and holistic. Their formulation process is rooted in prioritizing taste without compromising on ingredients, designed to help your body thrive daily. Their mission is to promote wellness, resilience, and a feeling of unstoppability to their community of go-getters. Welcome, you guys. Welcome, Michelle. Welcome, Nikki. That was quite a mouthful for me, so I was like, so many amazing. I absolutely love. So what? Just give me your story of how this started, why you decided to build this business. I'm so interested.
Yeah, I mean, the introduction, it's hard to top that. But yeah, high level, we started this company about 2 years ago, really just on a mission to solve our own personal pain points. We were teaching fitness classes at Equinox while at the same time juggling these very demanding corporate jobs. And so our days were waking up at 5 in the morning, teaching, working all day, teaching again sometimes at night. And so we personally relied on these on-the-go, shelf-stable protein bars and snacks. And in that time, there wasn't anything that really delivered on everything we needed, which was functionality, clean ingredients, to not upset our stomach, something that kept us full, because, we're both hungry girls, but also, really creating that experience where we looked forward to it. It wasn't just something we had to bear through and suffer and punish our taste buds just for nutrition. And so, noticing this white space in the market of something that, could solve all of our needs in a very elevated way, we created this product first for solving our own pain points. And then once we launched, putting aside our own personal savings, we used grad school money that we were going to put towards an MBA and really roll the dice and invested in ourselves and launched the company just bootstrapped. And the reception was incredible. It was early 2020, which was a very interesting time. We didn't know what the world was going to look like, starting like a couple months into launch. But the brand really does stand for resilience and empowerment for your health. And I think that's what's been inspiring for us to see how it resonates with consumers. And so really excited to be here today to share more about our story and to continue building Elavi to get into more hands.
Yeah, it's interesting because there are like little points that you said along the way that kind of like stuck out. One of the things that I thought was interesting that didn't upset our stomach. How many times the protein bars you're like, ooh, didn't sit well. So very, very interesting. And I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, so I know how difficult it can be, and moving your MBA money into bootstrapping your business. But you're basically learning on the job.
Absolutely,
you're building your MBA yourself. It's through
Michelle, Sorry, we were both in a position of wanting to learn. It was we wanted, going back to business school to learn how to run a company. We're like, well, maybe we just kind of skip that step and just practice trying to run a company and take all the lessons learned along the way.
Yeah, and when you have more skin in the game, I would say that forces you to be hyper-focused. It forces you to really take everything seriously, because it's not like, okay, worst case scenario, I get a C in class. It's worst case scenario, I lose tens of thousands of dollars. So, upping the stakes, while I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, it really forces you, if you're in the right place and have enough experience and confidence, I would say too, that's really much a mindset thing too, to really take it to the next level. I think that also is what allowed us to scale so quickly is just this tenacity to not fail, because it's not an option to fail.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I completely see that. So one of the things that you guys talk about is that, you've been really focused on lean growth. How have you done that?
Yeah. So, I mean, it starts with the capital perspective. So, when you're using your own money, every dollar counts. And so really just looking at the business and we're like, okay, what is this $1? What's the output of that? Where are we spending? Where we're not seeing output? Okay, let's cut that real quick. And just constantly checking in with each other and saying, okay, can we do this more efficiently? Should we bring on someone so that it opens up our time? A practice that we really are opening ourselves more up to is, okay, let's assign a dollar amount to every hour we work, right? Let's say it's $100 an hour and we're doing something that's like $5 an hour. Can we allocate that to someone else? And then we can focus on more $100 an hour tasks that are really moving the needle in our business. So I think that's a lean way of thinking about a business, and just, looking for different ways that we could save money. And I think as women, we aren't really always conditioned to ask for a better deal, ask for help, ask for, resources, and
going to work to get started,
Yeah. And so we asked a lot of favors from our friends for, discounts and just even negotiations with vendors. We're like, can we get a better deal? Can we get better terms for next time? What can we do to come back to, get this a little bit more favorable? And I think that's also a very integral part of running a lean business, is that you just have this lens of, okay, every single dollar counts. And we continue to take that even as we receive capital funding.
Yeah, and even from the very beginning, we had a very premium product, and so we knew we weren't going to sacrifice on the integrity of that formula. But there was, ways we learned just to optimize costs, to make sure that what we were creating something of value that people did want to pay for. But just being, really cognizant of learning ways that we can optimize across the board. In, really by still being able to kind of protect this premium formula, but cutting costs everywhere else that we possibly could.
I mean, so you guys didn't go to business school, but like, how did you learn these things? Like because I mean, you started in 2020 and here we are now, and you've gotten funding. So you learned in a very short period of time. Well, sometimes, people fail many, 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 many times. And so who was your mentor, or what did you do to kind of learn these things? Because, you don't just kind of start a business and like, I know exactly what I need to do.
No, exactly. You're spot on. And I wouldn't say that we still are figuring stuff out.
Oh yeah, we mess up all the time.
We're not experts by any means.
We Google a lot of things.
Yeah, and I would say it's a combination of a couple of things. One, I do want to know, we're not fresh out of college. We're not 22. We started this both having corporate experience under our belt. So Nikki works in the finance world at PwC. So she was, consulting on other businesses. She got to really see, that business side. And that was very integral to the way we run operations, the way we even price everything. So we had a competitive edge in Nikki's background. My competitive edge is in content, in marketing, in partnerships. And I worked at Sephora, digital agencies, Eventbrite. So I understood what converts well on a website. I understood how to build content. I understood how to reach out and cold call and pitch and, build that, brand overnight. And so that, we both had a combined 14 years of experience, right, between us, that I think people tend to not think about. They see fitness instructors and we're like, yeah, but we also have corporate jobs too. On top of that though, we had so many people who were so gracious, advising us from day one, providing feedback,
making connections, introductions. It's just amazing what one intro to someone can just expand your network and put you in touch with the right people when we needed them at the right time. It was, absolutely takes a village. Say that over and over again, how many people have supported us along this journey, and customers, of course, but just, the people that have circled around us. And it's just not the dollars that they've given us by any means. It's just the cheerleading that can come from building a business. It's hard. And there's many times you want to just throw your hands up, but when you have people that love your product or just are supporting you, and you're like, no, we got to keep pushing forward.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting because I've had to deal with the exact same things in my own business, hiring people and kind of learning these things. And my co-founder and I, we've done the exact same thing where we're like, you know what? He focuses a lot on sales and operations, and I'm the face of the business. I'm the marketing, so yeah, he actually, because you were talking about how, Nikki, that you have the financial experience. He has an MBA in finance. He has a lot of that same stuff, and I'm the marketer with all of that kind of thing. And we come together, and we divide and conquer. But it gets to this point where it's raising, and you're like, okay, well, I can't do what we need to do. And I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they'll kind of fight through the struggle to the point of where their business does fail. So I think, yay, you guys for, really being smart about that, because I don't think a lot of people are. They're like, I can do it, especially women.
100%.
Do you find that a lot? Yeah, that's probably why some women fail, and it's a shame, because we do need to lean on that village.
For sure. And I think that having the two of us together is just, not that either of us could maybe do it on our own, but just having that someone alongside you for the ride, just to be like, are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking? Is this crazy? It's a sense of just, we've heard from other founders, like, it's really lonely doing this alone, or you're doing this alone on the whole journey. And even when you get to the top and like those celebrations and milestones, like, to have to celebrate alone, it's really amazing to have someone alongside you, and you can feed off each other's energy. Maybe someone's having an off day and that other person can come in and help and, boost the other's morale. Like, it's just this constant team between the two of us. And it is like a complementary skill set, absolutely. But even just, who we are as people, and just getting through challenges together is definitely stronger because there's two of us. I'm sure you find that with your co-founder too, where, it would be a very different journey doing it by yourself.
Yeah. And I think it's also really, a testament to you guys that you guys aren't like, sometimes women can be catty and fight. And it's just, that you guys are like, no, we're stronger together if we go through. So what do you guys do if you don't see eye to eye on something? Because there's two of you, right? If there were three, you would be able to kind of like say, okay, 2 against 1, but you've got 2. How do you deal with struggles? Because I'm sure you haven't always agreed.
Oh yeah, totally. No, and I think just that honesty and transparency to just know that, we're 2 different people with different backgrounds and different perspectives. And that's actually a good thing, because if we thought the same way on every single thing, which we do a lot on stuff for the business, then you wouldn't really be getting to a stronger point. And so I think we very much prioritize communication, and kind of experimenting with different communication methods too, and kind of trying to meet each other halfway. I would say also, we always, and feel free to chime in on this, is the business always is going to be priority. So no matter like, even if we're like mad at each other about something, we're still going to work. Like, we're not going to like stop the business. And so I think it's just that shared, love and passion for, the better of Elavi, like how to be a better company. Sometimes some of your own personal things aside, but there hasn't been I can't even count on one hand at the number of times we have really disagreed on something, and anything that we maybe did see a little differently, different perspectives. It just sometimes takes a night to sleep on it, more conversation, potentially reaching out in your network to just have people provide some input, but we're also careful too. Too many cooks in the kitchen can get a little chaotic. And we have a strong pulse usually on the direction and we need to go strategically. But it's always been able to work itself out. And I think that, as Michelle mentioned, like, we had years of experience working in the world where we did have to work with difficult people. We did have to make hard decisions. And so we got practice in learning how to get through those situations. Whereas if we were 22, like, this would look very different. And so I think there's a lot to be said about having that opportunity to, have your building years of a career before you go start a business. Yeah, I'll give a good example. Like when we were, rebranding, we had different ideas of what we wanted the name to be. And so it was very hard to kind of, okay, like, I hear you, but, and so it's just like, it's kind of like the way we talk. It's like, okay, hear me out. Like, this is where I'm coming from. It's these kind of words where it's like not putting anyone down or dismissing anyone. It's really like more I feel statements, but also just like, here's what I'm saying, and just presenting things to each other logically. And I think we're both just very logical people. And so, the way that we kind of like come to decisions is very much like, okay, what makes sense? And no one can dispute, what makes sense, holistically. Yeah.
No, those are all like really amazing tips. And, and yeah, I definitely think that, knowing how to communicate is so key to dealing with the people that you work with, work for you work for, because we all work for somebody. What kind of tips would you give to another set of female founders or a single female founder? What tips would you give them to start their own business? What are some tips you would give?
I would say know your strengths and then also know your weaknesses. So perfect example, like I am not strong at numbers. I am not, spreadsheets make me cry. I don't like, anything dealing with like operations and like if I have to, I will, but it's not strong for me. It's not like where I thrive. And so Nikki is just so phenomenal at that. And also, she just, in addition to that, she's also great at like, adding on her input in terms of brand and creative. So I think it's just like understanding I need someone who knows, X, Y, Z, but also I just need someone there. So that's a tip for me. It's just like, I know my strengths, but I also know my weaknesses and being like humble about it and checking your ego. Like, you know what? Nikki's stronger at this. I'm going to like pass this off to her. That's one tip.
Yeah, and adding to that, because I know Michelle mentioned this early on, it's like, if there are parts of the business, because you wear all the hats, right, as a founder, but there are some hats that really drain you more than others. And for Michelle, it's spreadsheets. For me, it's like a lot of like the marketing stuff and content. So, and getting back to people. So it's like, it's realizing that, like you said, those strengths and those weaknesses. And if between the two of you, or if you're a sole founder, early on, moving those off your plate, because otherwise, like, the energy is just going to be robbed from those tasks where like you just don't even want to continue forward in the business. So like realizing that maybe what needs to get passed on to a third party's plate, or between the two of you, sharing those roles. But the key thing is to keep moving forward, and to just continue to cut things that aren't allowing you to do that at a pace that you need to. It's that awareness, I think, of where you stand and where you want to get going to.
Yeah, I would also add, if I could give advice to any founder starting out solo or group, is to prioritize time to get inspired and to keep creative ideas coming through. So we look to other brands as inspiration, whether it's in the category or adjacent, whether it's like beauty or, travel or anything like that. And then I also personally, I get inspired when I go to grocery stores. So sometimes if I'm like looking at a screen for too long, or if I'm teaching a fitness class, or if I'm working out, like that's where thoughts come to me. So it's, it's very easy to just hustle and grind and keep going and think that that's the mentality. But sometimes like taking a step back and be like, I'm going to go to the grocery store because I'm like trying to figure out like how I want to write copy. And I go to a grocery store and I look at stuff and I look at other labels and I get inspired by like beverages. And then I like come back to Nikki, like, look at this is really cool. Like, what do you think of this? And that's how like some magic happens. So I would also like prioritize kind of allowing your brain to, seek out, different ideas or just nurture it in different ways instead of just staring at a screen all day.
Yeah, because we can sometimes get into this just like things like robotic mode of just getting through the to-do list. But part of kind of the vision for the company requires this higher level and this step back from the deep, like the really day-to-day details of running the business, where creativity isn't, always coming at you at every direction. So taking those moments to do what, either personally and collectively kind of like fuels you up and inspires you, because it's only going to add to the value that you bring as a company to everyone else.
Yeah, I like that, Nikki, because that's one thing that I don't always do the most of, but kind of like refilling your cup, because if you got to be creative and you have to do the heavy lifting, sometimes you're like, I'm running on fumes at this point. So go to the grocery store, do whatever it is, like get some good energy going. I love that. Well, so one of the questions I want to know, because obviously this is the Powerful Personal Brand podcast, so we love personal brand stories. I know that you guys have used your personal brand and it helped you a lot. I would love to hear about that story.
Yeah, I mean, we're both fitness instructors, right? And we still teach. And kind of going back to how we fill our cups, that is a full hour or however long. We're off our phones and we're getting back to our core mission, which is to help people be healthier. That is why we're put here on earth. That is what drives us every single day. That is why we created Elavi, is just to extend that mission. And so, going into that personal brand, it really just does make sense that, we are so passionate about helping people be healthier, and we share that content on our social media, like naturally and organically. And so of course we're going to shout from the rooftops. So like, hey, we found a way and we created a way to help you feel healthier in the most impactful way, which is nutrition, the food that you put in your body. Because directly correlates to how you think, how you focus, how you digest food. If you have stomach, digestion issues like I have, it really does make or break. Like, do you feel motivated to work out? Do you feel like in so much pain you don't even want to move? And really that correlates into, just how you are as a human being, right? If you are fed with good food and high quality nutrients, then you're just an overall better person. And we need, nicer, better people in the world. And so, we just very much like love sharing content and empowering people to really push past their limits and see what they're made of. And we definitely show the behind the scenes of running a company to show that it's not always glamorous and easy and always fun. But I think that shows the grit and the hustle and the love and the passion. It really does extend beyond our personal brand into the company and really just this joy in helping others.
Yeah, we really try to make sure that every experience or touch point with us, with our product, with the brand, it just leaves people feeling better, more unstoppable, stronger, more inspired, whatever that word might be. And it actually goes back to, we met teaching group fitness classes, and we sometimes like to bring that model of a group fitness class to how we innovate and develop products. Because like the minute you walk into a fitness room, what like warm face welcomes you, what music's playing, what guidance do you have on what equipment to grab, how does the workout, how does it go, how does it make you feel, are you energized after when you leave, and then onto your day, how has that workout impacted your day? Like we kind of take that model of how we curate our group fitness classes, and I know this sounds cheesy, but okay, from the minute that someone picks up Elavi and opens it and eats it and it digests it and it fuels whatever they're going through that day, taking that kind of like awareness, intentionality that we've had with our classes, kind of in creating a product from it is a fun exercise for us, and then constantly finding ways that we can keep doing better. We want every single point of the experience to be something that has been well thought through, intentional, and really just like brings joy, even as something as simple as a snack.
Yeah. No, I come from an experiential marketing background. So when you were talking, describing that, it's the experience. It's what it smells like, how you feel, who invites you. And one of the things that I'm definitely thinking, sometimes people are like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur because they kind of think it's fun. And you get to, I can't tell you how many times, like, sometimes I'm dealing with people and like, oh, well, you're an entrepreneur, so you have so much free time on your hands. I'm like, what are you talking about? They don't really understand how much work goes into it. And I think one of the things that's so key, and that I think the reason why your business has been successful and a lot of people are successful, is that they do what they know. They're not going like, I'm going to do something completely random. They're using the experience that you use the experience that you had, put it together to build something you needed. Those are the best businesses.
Because the ones that don't, you can just feel the emptiness behind that person, right? Like there is something, like some people have ideas, and unfortunately it's not of interest to them, it's not a need for them. And you can tell when you interact with that product or that service, and there just isn't that oomph behind it, because that person that created it and brought it to market just doesn't resonate with the experience that you're having.
Right. Yeah. We see it all the time, people with backgrounds where we're like, how did they end up there? And they see it as like this, like glamorized, like they just want to write, I'm an entrepreneur, or like I fundraise,
make $1 million or whatever,
And we didn't start this company to make a ton of money, or if anything,
don't go into product.
Don't go into CPG if you want to make money. I will tell you that. This is truly love and truly, passion that's driving everything. And that clearly resonates through the screen. We get messages daily where people are like, I love your passion, I love your hustle. Like, how do you do it? And it's really just, we wake up in the morning just so excited and energized to extend our mission and go to bed late at night. And that's what keeps us up late at night is how do we just get better and stronger and get into more hands? And, with our backgrounds, it really just, as Nikki said it perfectly, it's a culmination of everything we experienced, but it started with solving our own pain points. And so that's what gets us up to fight every single morning. It's like, we can't imagine our lives or days without the products, because they help us.
It's the only thing I've eaten today.
Like, we're busy entrepreneurs, like busy fitness instructors with corporate jobs to busy entrepreneurs with that same chaotic schedule who struggle to eat and feel energized. So it's cool that we solved our own pain point, and we're still continuously relying on our own products to keep us going.
Yeah. Well, I before I jumped on here, I had a conversation with somebody else, and she was telling me how she's kind of mad that there's somebody that is essentially caught. She's a confidence coach, and someone's kind of stealing her copy, stealing her words. And so, in your space, there's lots of competition. But because you filled a need and you have such high standards, you're not going to cut costs. You're going to make sure that your product is quality. And so I'm just kind of like thinking about it, but I feel like that's kind of what definitely differentiates you guys from somebody else, because somebody else might say, okay, I'm going to do this, this product that's like yours, but they're going to be cutting corners, and people are going to know that. They're going to know that they don't have anything of substance behind them.
It won't be authentic. Yeah. You really have to believe that you have created something that doesn't exist or doesn't, in some way or another impact someone's life the way that it does. Because it's going to be such a difficult journey as an entrepreneur that you have to have that to hold on to, or else it's not worth fighting for and sacrificing what you have to sacrifice in order to do.
Yeah. And just for like high level advice for anyone who's afraid of competition, or what do you do if, what's your framework or what's your mindset around anyone, replicating something that's similar to yours, especially in CPG, but just any company, brand is so important. It's what we're talking about today. And that's not something you create overnight. It's something that you build incrementally. And it's something that is an investment. And really it's rooted in how you make your consumers feel, right? It's, as a brand, your touch point is really everything. And so are your consumers deriving value? Are they feeling better by choosing your product or service? Are you always thinking of new ways to serve them? Are you asking them what they need? Are you delivering what they need? And I think it takes that, curiosity to consistently ask how you can improve, how you can serve, and that genuine desire to help people. And that's what people will buy. People buy from people. People will buy because of a story, of a mission. They're not going to, we have a great product, I stand by it, but that's not all. It's like, we really do provide ways for people to be healthier outside of that. We provide content every Friday for quick exercise, hacks to stay healthy at home. We, are sharing our story to help inspire, other entrepreneurs or people just to raise their voice in their current jobs. And so it's, little points of value, little touch points and positive experience, that's really what creates a strong brand that no one can compete with, because no one is you and no one will ever be you. And so the more you can inject yourself into your brand, that makes you untouchable. I
love that. I love that you said that people sell, that people connect with people. People want to buy from people. That's like one of the biggest things that I talk about when I'm talking about personal branding. So yay, I completely agree. Well, I have one final question for you guys. We all kind of, through this struggle of having our own business, we have a time, sometimes more than one, but you're just like, I just don't know if I want to do this anymore. What time was that for you guys? It was the same time, and what made you keep going? What made you know that this was just a learning experience and you were going to move on and it was going to succeed?
What do you think?
I stumped you guys.
I mean, it's not, I think sometimes it can get exaggerated. There was a point where Michelle mentioned we rebranded, we changed the name. And we had to, it was forced upon us, despite having the rights to the name, like it was going to be a legal battle that we didn't want to fight. And it's those moments where you're like, is this a sign? Like, are we supposed to not be doing this? Like, are we not taking the hints? Like, but those are the moments too where you have to stronger than ever push them out of your head and trust, in yourself and in the partnership that you've created and the product that you've created, that it is worth, pushing through those hardships and that you're strong enough to handle what's coming your way. That was, a point for us where we had spent 7 months building something that felt like a name change was going to kind of deplete everything we had worked for. I think, the past couple years has been a challenge for people across the board, not just in business, but, mentally, emotionally, physically, relationships. Like, we have been tested in ways, but we've also proven resiliency. And I think that's one thing we constantly come back to is like, there are going to be days that aren't great and that we're not going to make the right decision. We're going to fail, but tomorrow's a new day. We're just going to keep moving forward. And there has never been a point where we didn't want to get to that next day with Elavi along, kind of both of us in this journey with Elavi. That has never been the point where it's like, this isn't worth continuing forward on. But
yeah, I think I see everything on that. I think that was just the only point where there's this, is this a sign kind of thing? But it ended up working out for the better because their name became so much stronger. We got to, really have that opportunity to really listen to
Tell everyone where the name came from, because I love that story.
Yeah, so it's our last names. Razavi is my last name.
And Elliot's mine. So EL from Elliot, API from Razavi. You get Elavi. And honestly, it works so well, but we love the word elevate, and we love that that's the experience that we try to bring people through the products. And just also the content we put out there. And so it's a beautiful word. It has a couple different, I think we struggle just because like there's a lot of different pronunciations of it, but every way we've heard it, we love. So like you can call it whatever you want. It's spelled Elavi, and there's however you say it, it sounds beautiful. And we're really, that was actually ended up being a huge blessing. But sometimes it takes looking back to connect the dots of where that moment seemed like, is this the end of our company? Was actually the turning point for our company. Well, and probably really great that you had a partner to lean on,
because when you're kind of feeling a little beaten down, the other one's a little bit stronger. So you kind of have this, kind of a ship keeping each other afloat.
Yeah. I mean,
that's awesome.
We've literally like climbed mountains together. We've like hiked Half Dome, which is the most intense hike ever in Yosemite. And as we're climbing up, we're like, we can do hard things. And I think that's just like the through line of our company and of our brand is we've been through the ringer and far more than I would say most early stage companies, just in terms of timing and market and product. But, we always come back to, we can do hard things, and that's just always ingrained in us. And we're hungry in more ways than one, hungry for food, but also hungry to really stand for, make an impact and really show that, women can run a business, we can be successful, and we are going to open up doors for other women too. It's not just us, it's by succeeding, we're proving to other people that women are capable, and we're going to continue opening doors for other women as well. And that's something that's bigger than us, and something that we're so excited to be able to do with these conversations, to inspire, to, expand and to show, what is possible, and to cheerlead on anyone else to keep going.
Yeah, I love that. Well, so where can someone find Elavi? 2, because you guys give such awesome tips on your social media, where can people find that?
Yeah.
Find you guys.
So to buy Elavi, we're a lot of places. Online, you can go direct to our website, elavi.co. We just launched a brand new line of nut butter, superfood nut butters. They're beautiful, superfood colors. They're really vibrant. You can buy those only on our website for right now, so head over there. But if you want to buy our collagen protein bars, you can get them at Amazon. They're all on Prime. If you're in LA, we're sold at all Erewhon locations, Rainbow Acres, and Maria Del Rey, and Earth Bar locations, select Earth Bars for the Equinox cafes. We're also at Snack Magic. So for any offices ordering for their employees, we're there, and the Lululemon retail experiential store in Mall of America.
And for social media, Instagram, our content queen, Michelle, is always curating our Instagram page with fun behind-the-scenes videos and workout content, and that is Hey Elavi. Elavi is our handle for most social media, TikTok and others. So Twitter,
Awesome. And you give fitness tips and all that sort of stuff too, you said?
Every Friday we do fitness.
I will definitely give you guys a follow.
Yeah. Every Friday we do Fitness Friday. So we film and show quick, easy workouts ranging from like mobility yoga to HIIT strength training. So we love to give out, content that, helps you with your day. And then, like behind the scenes and just education about, superfood ingredients.
Love it. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It was such a fun conversation, and I'm just so happy to speak with other amazing women that are just doing great things and not taking no for an answer and just kind of knocking down those doors. And I absolutely love it. So I'm so excited that you guys were able to join me today. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for having us. It's great.
Yeah.
And and so thank you guys so much for listening to today's podcast and or watching it on YouTube. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye.